You know what? I like the raw footage. Raw footage is good because everyone can be themselves, then, innit? I don't like all the like the fake pretend.
Exactly.
And 3, 2, 1. October Red. I'm here in Wolverhampton with what I'm going to say is probably going to be a future great, a future star. But I'm not here for that. Ben Whittaker.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me again. Thanks for coming down, taking your time out.
Ben, a fighter that's obviously an Olympian, a fighter that's kind of like, I would even say that you've weathered some storms, but I'm talking about like the publicity side. I'm talking about like the Marmite, we love you, we hate you. How's that journey been for you? And how does that strong boxing mentality help you like deal with the public?
Yeah, that's one thing about boxing, there's always people that's going to have their own opinion. I say in all walks of life, people have their opinion, but when it's sports, you get the armchair fan, we should do this, I should do this. You see a footballer, well, how did he miss that? I would have scored it. But at the end of the day, I think you just got to stay mentally strong, stick to your vision, stick to your plan, and block the noise out because the end goal is all that matters. It's okay to have the noise now, but it's really what matters down the line.
The expectations so far with how your career has gone, would you say it's as plain sailing as you thought it would be? Or has there been a couple of, experiences, not necessarily bumps in the road?
Yeah, there's been little ups and downs, of course, with like injuries, little niggles and things like that. But it's part of the lifestyle, Like Job, he said, if anything, they have to tell me to calm down because I train so hard. And that's why I taught the way I taught. But, it's going the way it's going. Like I said, off the back of the last fight, the publicity went crazy. I didn't expect it to go the way it did, especially because I've been doing it since my debut. But you can't really complain. It's what boxers want, publicity, eyes on you. And when there's more eyes on you, you've got to perform. So that's what I'm looking forward to do next fight.
The performance, the style that you've got, I was there at your debut. I've watched your style. I've seen you sparring. I've argued the fact that, listen, this is just the way he fights. It's not an act. It is the way he is. But when you're sat at home and then you realise that everything's going viral, how do you maintain like a calm head? Because it's easy to get gassed off something like that. Listen, I would have been walking around with a big head and I get it, but how do you still maintain that calmness?
For me, I haven't done anything yet. And that's what my dad's always told me. I won the junior and youth ABAs. To me, that was like I was the world champion, but my dad said, you ain't done nothing yet. There's kids that's won the seniors. I won the seniors back to back. You ain't done nothing yet. There's kids who's won it 3 times. I'll qualify for the Olympics. My dad said, you ain't done nothing yet. You haven't won gold. I got a silver. He said, you definitely ain't done nothing yet. And that's the mindset we always have. Yeah, I'm getting a couple of follows, getting a couple of likes, but I'm not world champion yet. I'm not undisputed. I'm not unified. So until you've done all that, I've not done anything yet. And I think that's the mindset you got to have. If you get excited, knocking a couple of people out, hopping on one leg, sadly you get caught out. So it's all good and well getting the views, but the goal remains the same. You've got to finish what you started.
You mentioned your dad, somebody that's key alongside Joby and alongside your brother. Shout out to Jamie Whittaker as well, the guy that thinks it's okay to run 30 miles at the beginning of the week. The solid people, and I know I've mentioned it before, but how important is it to have that solidity with the people that you've got around you, Ben?
Yeah, like I said, with the back of what happened, you can easily get people wanting to jump on board, wanting to come down and watch you train, wanting to come down and buy you things, but I'm not really into all that, I've got my close-knit friends and family. My dad's the one who started me. My brother's the one my brother bought me my first pair of gloves and boots and things like that at his wage. So when people can do that and they see the vision, and not only that, Joby as well, he used to give me membership for free at the gym because we couldn't afford it. So stuff like that, I keep those people around because they saw the vision before I did. And when they paved that way, it's only right to keep it going because they're the ones that have been rooted for me the longest.
It's good that you mentioned that because not a lot of people will realise that you have come from humble beginnings. You weren't in a mansion. You haven't been given everything on the table. You've had to work really hard. Hence the reason why you're so passionate about what you do.
100%. Like I said, my dad worked 2 jobs. My mum worked 2 jobs. My brother was a Royal Marine. And then seeing all that growing up, I want a better life for them. Yeah, it's discipline. I want a better life for them. And there's times where your friends are all going out and you're like, I want to go out, man, blah, 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 but you can't. And then my dad I'll be like 21 years old. I'm an adult really, but my dad would be telling me what to do. I'll be like, Yo, I'm a big man, but at the end of the day, he had the vision, he had the plan. My brother, he used to play like good level football. He played for like Birmingham when he was young and whatnot. But he went on the wrong path. And he's kind of opened my eyes because he had all the skill, but he didn't have the discipline. And then now he looks back, shoulda, woulda, coulda. And he's kind of an eye opener. Oh, my brother made a mistake. I need to stay on it because I got the talent and little things like that. Everything's happened before me for me to have this plan. So you just got to stick to the game plan.
You know what? One thing I will say, and the viewers, I don't know if you see this on Ben's behind-the-scenes videos, the relationship that you've got with your brother is beautiful to see. I can personally say I'm a mum. I've got 5 sons. So to see your brother, even after you're sparring, he's like, come in the ring, let's go over this, let's talk through that. That relationship that you've got with your brother is really beautiful to see. And usually brothers are at loggerheads, they're arguing, they're fighting or whatever, but he's really got your back.
Hey, don't get it twisted, man. We had some fights back in the day. If you see the little cut on his eye, I actually did that.
Oh, wow.
When he used to do things to me, I'd wait for him to go to sleep. I'd hit him with the Argos book. I broke his nose.
Well, I want to hear the story about the Argos book. I want to hear your nose getting broken.
Yeah.
We got to see it. Everybody, this is Jamie Whittaker. Have a look at his Instagram. He runs 30 miles on a Sunday afternoon. Talk to us about that.
So my brother's different to me. He don't like the cameras and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, he was the older brother. I used to wind him up. Then he would try and react. I'd run down to my mum. Oh, he's trying to hit me, blah, blah. And then when he'd go to sleep, bow! August book daily. And like I said, having someone like that, we've had our little ups and downs that brothers do, but he's always had my back, like I say. His wage, he'd probably get like what? Was it grand a month from the Marines?
Yeah, a bit more.
A little bit more, but like I said, he'd buy me like my boxing boots, he'd buy me wraps, he'd buy me gloves, he'd send them to the house, I brought you this and blah, blah. So when I see that, you know what I mean, it opens my eyes that he's got my best interest. And not only that, he trains with me now, he works hard. So I've been someone like that alongside my dad, alongside Joby. They're all on the same path. I've been to some strength and conditioning coaches and they're there for the wages really, where he's fitter than me, he's stronger than me. So I've been someone like that, it's only going to push me.
Jamie, we've got...
He's bigging me up proper now.
No, but we love to hear it. And like you said, you're someone behind the scenes. You're not for the cameras. I get that. But I think it would be rude to not introduce the public to the guy. I've seen Ben's pictures, when he's ready and he's like, I'm 5 weeks out and look at me. Yeah. We need to know who that guy is behind that. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into strength and conditioning. His name's David Goggins. You can call him David
Goggins. Well, I've pretty much always trained. Then obviously was in the Marines for 8 years. On the Navy boxing team for 3 years. So I've just always been around strength and fitness and just learning from, people in the Marines, then on the boxing team, just taking little bits here and there before and afterwards, and then just put it into Ben's camp now. So it's worked out all right.
When you talk about discipline, because obviously Marines, discipline, it's that kind of military mindset, lifestyle that you're prepared to push beyond limits.
Yeah.
With Ben, how is that adapting to training your brother?
I think it's good in the fight sport because you've got to be able to push the limits. So he puts the work in behind the scenes. He's working hard. So with me pushing him as hard as I can, he's then leveling up as well. So works out well together.
What is it like you said, you're going to be in some deep waters. You've got to learn about those lonely times. No one's in there except for you and your opponent. So his kind of mindset, that military background, how does that help you in your training?
It helps me in many ways. Firstly, like I said, he doesn't need to do it, but he's fitter than me. So it gives me that push to say, you know what, if he's doing it because he don't need to, he just wants to help me, I definitely need to because I got people trying to punch me in the head. But there's little things like when I was a young kid, I didn't want to train, so he took me in the garden one time and he did this disciplinary thing where he put the hose pipe on me, made me hold the plank for like 5 minutes, then he took me over to the field, made me carry him, fireman carry. So I was like, I don't want to do this rubbish. But he said, this is the mindset you need, and my dad's like that too. And from a young age, it's either don't do it or do it to the fullest. And that's what our house is, sadly. And like I said, we have our ups and downs, but we know what the end goal is, you know what I mean? And we've been installed, if you do something, you do it to the fullest, and that's why we're here now.
That all or nothing, which is building that champion mindset. When you look at and I know you're going to look at other fighters because the competition.
Yeah.
when you know your mindset, when you know that, you know, obviously no children were harmed while he was doing that to him when he was a kid.
No children were harmed.
But
No children were harmed.
when you you're preparing for that now. So when you look at, say, for example, because everyone likes to put themselves up on the pads, everyone likes to show themselves, oh, look, hi, I'm running. You compare yourself to that. We talk about levels of training. Your thoughts on that?
I've been grateful enough to be on the Great Britain team, see certain athletes train. I've been able to go to different countries and see how they train, be in different training camps and see how they train. And I've had the pick of the bunch. I could have picked any strength and conditioning coach, or I could have picked any coach, but this just works for me. At the end of the day, picking someone who's not your family or someone who don't really know you, give me just 8 reps. Nah, man, he says you can do 20, and if he says I gotta do 20, I'm doing 20. Or sometimes, because I'm still the little brother, I try and do 22. You know what I mean? I just want to show a bit more. And the same with my dad. If my dad comes to the gym, he knows me the best as well. I don't like to disappoint him. So I'd put that extra shift in. Joby knows me since a kid, so I like to put that extra shift in, where if you don't really know people, they don't really know your limits, you can kind of coast. So that's what I was kind of figuring out when I was in America. Great coaches and whatnot, great S&C coaches, but for me, I don't need someone who's going to stand on me, because I know my mindset, I know what I need to do. But having someone do that as well, having the same minds on the same path, you can't really go wrong.
I'm going to ask you like a personal question now. Mm-hmm. Since obviously you went viral, I was one of them that was really happy about it. The thing is with me, I get gassed when other people get gassed up. So I'm like, yes, look at this. I remember messaging your dad saying, oh, look, such and such is like tweeting him. You know, people that weren't even nothing to do with boxing. And I know that there's going to be a price that comes with that. So I know you're going to be getting trainers. I've seen the trainers in your comments like, oh, you know, hi. Oh, yeah, you're amazing. Almost like, one for a better word, on your dick now, because they're going to want some. So what happens, and how do you say, you know what, I'm happy with what I've got? Because you're going to get everyone coming after you. Listen, if I was a coach, I'd be like, if I was a promoter, I'd be like, so I get it, but how do you say, you know what, I'm happy with what I've got so far?
Like I said, it's working so far, so why change it? And at the end of the day, they stayed with me since the start, so I don't need to switch it up. Like I said, it isn't bad going camp to learn things. The Devin Haney's have done it, and other boxers have done it. Go there, pick someone's brain. Okay, he does this, maybe we could add that. I'm a person that always wants to learn, so picking up knowledge from everyone isn't bad, but switching your entire team when you're getting a bit of fame or whatever you want to call it. You've seen it happen before, and sadly, the look back shoulda, woulda, coulda. At the end of the day, these people have got my best interest. Like I said, they bought me my first gloves. Joby gave me the free membership. My dad started me when he had 2 jobs. So stuff like that, for me, I'm a loyal person, and if you got my best interest, I'll never really switch up.
Jamie, I've got to ask the same to you, because you're gonna be like kind of like the third eye for your brother amongst his team. You're gonna see people fishing around him, and I guess if it was me, it was my little brother, I'd be like, what do you want? So how do you like keep him and, you know, make sure that he stays focused as well, just to make sure he doesn't fall off at all? Yeah, I know he's disciplined, I know he can think for himself, but that third eye is good, right?
Yeah, I just think he knows where he wants to go, and there's obviously going to be people that want to get involved now. If they're involved for the right reasons and he can learn from them, great. If it's just a case of they want to get on board to rinse him and get what they can out of him, it's not happening. And no dick riders, man. We don't need no dick riders around here.
I love to hear that. I have spoke to, I know obviously you're with Boxer, Ben Shalom promotes you. You know, I've always said he's the type of fighter that can promote himself. I see your social media, it's active. We look forward to seeing what's he going to post next. It's never really stereotypical, monotonous and boring. But also, I know Eddie Hearn wanted you from the beginning. Obviously, the 2020 Olympians, he wanted them. I think Ariel Hawani asked you. Yeah. And I know that created a bit of stir. I might have retweeted it myself. I might have been a little bit mixed up and tweeted it myself. But when you look at promotions, because I know if you went to America, you'd take the place by storm. I believe, and I'm sorry to the Brits, but I do believe that the Americans would be more accepting of that flamboyance that you've got. What happens, say for example, your promoter can't deliver? What happens then?
I suppose you have to come to that hurdle when you come to it, you know. Like I said, Eddie Earn. Like I said, Eddie Earn. Shut up, man. Like I said, Eddie Earn, for me, great promoter. Even the other day, I seen him talking about the Keyshawn and Adam Azim and what's his name, Andy Cruz. He knows how to sell fights. He's very talkative. He can position his fighters great. I really like Eddie and I like their team. But at the end of the day, boxer Ben Shalom, Sky Sports, they've got behind me. They're delivering, and at the end of the day, they're pushing my profile very good. At the end of the day, I've got a great cameraman, great team as well. So we're doing everything right, and I can't complain. I'm in a good position.
We're going to move on to March the 31st. You are on the Fabio Wardley, Fraser Clark, British domestic, a fight that we're looking forward to. I want to get your predictions on that, and then I want to talk to you about your fight. You know Fraser, Olympian, GB. How do you think that fight goes with Fabio?
A tough fight. I like the build-up. Fabio can talk, and if I was a Fraser, I just wouldn't get into the politics. I wouldn't get into the talking. I'd keep my head down, train hard, and try and prove it on fight night. But I went down to the Sky Sports thing. I saw you there for the build-up for the fight. Yeah. And Fraser was like bigging me up. Oh, look what you've done. You're going viral. I said, forget that, man. Look what you've done. You headline at the O2. I remember when we was at Sheffield in them little dingy houses, and we're talking about moments like this. And now you're headlining, fighting for the British. So take it with both hands and run with it. At the end of the day, it's going to be a hard fight. Fabio, fair play. He came from the white-collar scene. Didn't have much amateur background, but that don't really mean nothing. As long as you're a fighter, you train hard and you can get your wits about you, you can do well, and he's proved that. Very tough fight, of course, but I've got to root for my boy Fraser, man.
Love that. Jamie, what are your thoughts on the fight?
To be honest, I'm not too interested. I just focus on Ben stuff.
He just, yeah.
I see on Ben stuff, I'm being honest. Either one, I don't really care. I'm not bothered.
All he cares about is me on the fight night. As long as I do my job, he goes back and drives back home straight away.
Done, I'm back to normal. I ain't bothered.
We love it. So talk to me then. I don't know has your opponent been announced yet? Forgive me.
No, that's the only thing. The back of performances like that, it's maybe like they'll either start outpricing himself. It'll be harder to find, or you go from 6 fights to fighting Bivol. Do you know what I mean? So I'm in a position where it is quite hard now, but that's what the team's for. That's what Joel B, Boxer, Sky, that's what they're for. All our job is to do is train and turn up.
We're looking forward to it. Any fighters? I ask this. When you look at styles, when you look at, you know what, I'd like that to be my dance partner. Who do you look at in the light heavyweight division and think, yeah, we would make good dance partners? That's a challenge for me. I want that.
Yeah, you can. I don't really know, to be fair, because I think the landscape will change when I go through. If you look at, like I said, Beterbiev, he's 38, 39. Bivol, he's probably got a couple more fights than he's done. And then the Boatzis and Richards and whatnot, they're still coming to like the middle or to the end of their careers. So I think when I'm up there, I spoke to is it Punch Drunk, the American guy? You seen him? Or Moon Drunk or something like. He spoke to me and said, the fight I can see you, a defining fight, is you in Las Vegas versus Benavidez. Ooh. Yeah, so I think that would be a sick fight. Great style of fights, and I'd like that down the line. I think he's a great fighter, a great athlete, and a lot of people run away from him. With a bit more experience, I'd definitely run towards him.
You know, you mentioned David Benavidez, one of my favourites. I know he's not at this weight yet, but he was another one that came out of the Olympics. Morel Jr., he is a G.
Oh, man, you know what? The Cuban guy. Yeah. You know what? I'm a student of the game, so I always used to study, of course, what's in front of you, but what's behind you, or so on and so forth. And we never had a computer at my house, so I used to go to the library. Oh, wow. And I'd print stuff off there because it had a printer. So with the hour you can get on the computer, I used to go World Championships, and I'd watch the kids, and I watched Bam Rodriguez. I said, he's sick, he'll be good. And then I thought, he was round about my weight, watched it. Morel Jr. was there. I said, oh, he's quite good. Then he went missing. I said, where's he gone? Yeah. Then I seen him fight La Cruz. I thought, oh, okay, he's still active. Next thing you know, he's a professional and got a world title. I said, I know my boxing. So someone like him, I think he'll eventually move it to 175. Me, him, Benavidez, I think we'll be the three main guys. And maybe a young up-and-coming kid, but that'll be the three.
You've got the senses going. I'll try not to dribble everywhere, but I like the sounds of those fights down the line. Listen, everybody, if you don't, please get behind Ben Whittaker. I know he's subscribed. Your followers go up by 200,000 a day?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like I said, I finished my fight, 210K. I'm on 750 now. It's ridiculous. But like I said, all that's good and well. I got to get the job done, and that's why I train hard. Do you know what I mean?
I will leave it on a positive then. I will say that yesterday's price is not today's price. Yeah, that's the number one. And who you start off with is not necessarily who you're going to finish with as well. And on that note, October Red, Jamie Whittaker, Ben Whittaker, shout out to the massive in the background. Until the next time, stay ready.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.